Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Friday. It is the 6th of February, 2026. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from the Big A, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on X at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Join me today for my Southwest preview from Oakland. Of course, we have the today the Withers, which we're gonna get into in a little bit of time. And also tomorrow for my Sam F. Davis preview from Tampa. It's a good weekend of Derby prep races, and next week you have the what is it, the LeCompte or the Risen Star next week from the fairground. So it's going to be and you have the Saudi Cup, I believe, next week too. So it's going to be a good week of racing. This card has been was supposed to be run last Saturday here in New York at Aqueducts, but the weather has been so cold. This week it's warmed up a little bit. We're running it today on Friday. It looks like it's going to be a okay weather day. It's going to be around hovering around freezing, and then it's going to dip down below freezing into the high teens, low 20s on the weekend again. So I have no confidence and probably no racing in New York this weekend. But Friday's card will probably go through. With that being said, it's a very good card for a February card from Aqueduct. That's what happens when you get a lot of cancellations. You get some good racing in return. So we're going to look at the stakes races here, races 2, 4, 6, 8, and the feature 10th race, which is the Withers. Let's get to it right now. And if I had off today, I would be at Aqueduct. That's how good the card is. But I can't, I have very important meetings at work today. So it's going to be, I can't tell my boss, yeah, I'm be taking off today. Why? We need to go to Aqueduct for the Withers. My boss would tell me, yeah, go. Absolutely go. Just don't come back. But let's get to the second race from Aqueduct. And when I think of Aqueduct, there's a couple of races I think of, and a couple of them are on today's card. And it's, one of the races is the Interborough, and that is the second race. It's the Interborough Stakes, purse $135,000, race for fillies, mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. 6 horses are going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the main track. I'm gonna take the number five horse Her Laugh as a top selection. 5-1-3-4 in the superfecta. 5-1-3-4 super. Top selection of 5 horse Her Laugh. This 4-year-old filly by Practical Joke. Riley Mott trains. Jose Lascano gets the mount. Horse had, had a quick turnaround. 24th of January at Gulfstream. 7 furlongs in the Inside Information Stakes, and finished fourth by 6 lengths that day. She sat back early. She was stupidly wide, but she gained some ground. I think it was a half bad race. Coming here with a quick 2-week turnaround, I think she should see some pace close up into, and I think she's sitting on a good run. And also, if they sit her a little closer to the pace, that shouldn't be half bad either. She ran 2 back in the Grade 1 La Brea at Santina, 7 furlongs, 20th of December. She finished 5th by 8 3/4 lengths that day. She was a little bit wide, and she just never really got going. You should just really came home clear. And then at Churchill mid-November, 6.5 and off 125, finishing second by 2 lengths. She stalked. Motto took off clear. This horse's first start since March. I thought she ran decently that day. She was on the Oaks Trail last year. She won the Untappable at the Fairgrounds as a 2-year-old at the end of 2024. Came back from the Suncoast nearly a year ago to the day, where she had an okay second place finish behind like Faro. But I do think her better trips have come over a 1 turn. Back to a 1 turn today. She could definitely win. I think the 1 horse, Just Catherine, the veteran, could win also. Off the year and a half bench, she ran here at Aqueduct in the Go for One over the 1 turn mile, where she finished third by 11 3/4 lengths. A well beaten favorite, but she, well, not well beaten favorite. She was well beaten that day. She needed the race there. It was her first start since the 20th of September of 2024. Aqueduct 7 furlongs optional 80. She won by a half length coming from a tracking trip. She gamed it out to the wire. Very good race there. And then the pink ribbon of 24 at Charlestown over the 7. She finished third by 4 lengths. She was a little bit wide, and the winners just got to her. She does like this track. She's 5-2 on it. She won here in September 2024, and she won here in December of 2023 on the mud, going 9 furlongs, where she won by 5 1/4 lengths coming from the back of the pack. That was a very good run. She's training well. She has hidden ability that could do wonders in this race. I'm going to use her on the ticket. Let's recount my selection for the second from Aqueduct. It is the Interborough. Going to go with the 5 horse Her Laugh and give kudos to the 1 horse Just Catherine. 5-1-3-4 super. 5-1 in the multi-race. The 4th race from Aqueduct. It's one of the OG classic Aqueduct Stakes races. It's the Toboggan Stakes. It's going for a purse of $150,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. 7 horses are going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs in the final toboggan run of Big A. Gonna go with the number 6 horse, Victory Way. 6-3-1-5 in the superfecta. 6-3-1-5 super. Top selection 6 horse, Victory Way. The 6-year-old gun by City of Light. Belmont trains. Jose Lascano gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 11th of December. You're at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs off 75 claimer, and the horse went by 1 3/4 lengths. And on the front end, he edged to the wire clear. That was a good race. He's coming back in trip. A lesser quality horse is not the world's, deepest toboggan we've ever had, or stakes race in general. I think he's been building up, stamina underneath him, and I think he could really improve off his most recent races. They tried him routing on turf too back at Aqueduct. 1 mile, 27th of September at Ops 25, and he finished 7 by 7 3/4 lengths that day. Had a very wide trip and just had nothing. It wasn't a recipe for success there. And then 30th of August, Saratoga off the bench, 6 furlongs off 75. Finishing third by a half a length that day. He ran okay. He stalked that day. He just needs something more, but I've seen worse race for him. And then the slop at Saratoga during the Belmont Stakes Festival. 7 furlongs and optionals at 75, finishing second by 1 1/4 lengths. General Partner's decent horse beat him that day. This horse was a beaten second there. Refreshing here, training well. I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. I think the 3 horse here, BU for Todd and Kendrick Cohen also. Most recently in Op 75 over the Winter Mile, and at the end of December, he finished second by 2 3/4 lengths, but because he had to be checked in the lane, they placed him first and actually disqualified Donegal Surges. I don't know if that was the right call. So he was a well beaten second. He was gaining ground, but he ran his heart out that day. He ran two back on over the 7 on the mud here in Op 75 back in November, where he finished second by 2 3/4 lengths again. Gaining after a horrible beginning, a very good race, and then off the year and a half bench and allowance race at Keelan going 71 by a length and circle the field, a very, very good race. He doesn't have a lot of forwardly pace. He's a horse that's going to be coming from the clouds. I think he'll see pace to close up into. I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. He was on the Derby Trail in early 2024, but he just didn't do wonders in those races. He wants to cut back and track. I choose him here today, but to recount my selection for the fourth from Aqueduct, it is the Interborough. Going to take the 6 horse victory away. Give kudos to the 3 horse BU, 6-3-1-5 Super, 6-3 in the multi race. Let's get to the 6. Sixth race from Aqueduct. It is the Ladies Stakes. It's going for a $135,000 purse. Race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds, or excuse me, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 6 horses going 1,800 meters, or a mile and eighth in the ladies. Another race rich in Aqueduct history. Always used to be run late December here at Aqueduct over the inner track at a mile and quarter for many, many years. Hasn't been run at a mile and quarter on the inner track in about 20 years or so, if not longer. But yeah, again, as the Aqueduct's farewell tour, heads on some of these races, it's going to be sad to see them leave the home base, but we have to go into the future. With that being said, I'm so glad that Aqueduct's closing. We've come. I'll explain my reasons why in a little bit. I don't another video at another day. But I'm gonna go with the number 1 horse, Low Country Magic, as a top selection. Gonna go 1-3-2-5 in the superfecta. 1-3-2-5 super top selection of 1 horse, Low Country Magic. This 5-year-old mare by Good Magic. Rancho de Paz trains Jamie Rodriguez, who's absolutely killing it in New York this season, gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came an optional 100 here over at Keeneland, mile 16, 25th of October, and he finished fifth by 7.5 lengths that day. And he was with them around early on, then just yielded. I do think coming here, it is a tough spot, but I think if they let him run on the front end from where he's drawn, he can get away with it on the front end and get the job done. He ran two back at Laurel, the 1 turn mile in the Twix Stakes, and he finished ninth by 17.5 lengths. He stalked a pretty okay pace that day. He was just under the drop around the far turn and was kind of weakened out of it. I do think that a little bit slower race on the front end could have really suited him there. And then a Colonial over the 1 turn mile in option 75, finished third by 1 1/4 lengths. He just yielded out of it, but he did show some potential there. And then at Laurel in late June, mile 16th and option 40, he had everything his own way on the front end, won by 2.5 lengths. He won for fun that day. Even in Indiana going mile in an odds race, they sent him to the front end and had everything his own way, had a couple breathers. He came home clear. I would like to see them do that with him today. If they do that with him, I think at 15-1, he's a very logical winner. I'm going to use him on the ticket. I think the 3 horse Scallybull can win also for Todd and Kendrick. She hasn't won since last year's Interborough over the 7 furlongs, where she won by 1 1/4 lengths, gaining a lot of ground. That was a good race. But then wasn't seen since the Gallant Bloom back in September. 6.5 here at Aqueduct, where she finished sixth by 10 1/4 lengths, where she needed the race that day. Came back to run a decent third in the Pumpkin Pie, and then was a well beaten second and behind the weight and risk in the in the go for one, but she's back to a longer trip, which I think has always been her thing. She's back to two turns locally. I'm gonna give her a shot at 4-1 on the ticket, and also give a shot to the two horse here. Bernie takes charge for Ruben Silvera. His most recent race in the Bay Ridge hasn't been half bad. Actually, his form recently hasn't been half bad at all. I think he goes up a lot with two turns. He's drawn well. 6-1. State Brett taking on the Open Company. I think she could win. Her most recent race against State Breds, though, wasn't very good. She ran in the personal ensign against a very, very tough competition. She's not facing a nearly tough competition today, so watch out for her. And guess what? She won last year's heavily in prize against Open Company, so watch out for her at 6-1 in the pick six that begins with this race. But to recap my selection for the six from Aqueduct, it is the ladies. Going to take the one horse Low Country Magic. Give kudos to the three horse Calible and the two horse Bernie Takes Charge. 1-3-2-5 Super. 1-3-2 in the multi race. The eighth race from Aqueduct, it is the Ruthless Stakes. It's going for $135,000 purse race for three-year-old fillies. Field of seven horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the main track. I'm going to take the number two horse here, Interstate Love Song. I'm going to go 2-7-5-3 in the superfecta. 2753 Super, top selection two horse Interstate Love Song, 3 over by Bill de Oro. Tom Morley trains, Ricardo Santana Jr. gets the mount. Horse's most recent outing came day after Christmas here at Aqueduct, 6.5 and a main special weight, winning by 5 lengths on the front end. He basically won in a hand ride. That was a very good race, 48 cents to the dollar, heavy favorite. Everybody and her mother knew she was going to win, but that was a good run. She's stepping up in class here today. She has some forwardly page from where she's drawn. I think she can go a long way. She ran on debut in late November here at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs in main special weight. Finished second by 2 lengths that day. The winner, Britain, looks like she could be a decent horse. She just kind of stalked that day. She got bumped around the top of the lane, which probably cost her, maybe the race, but she needed the race for the experience. She got a good experience that day. Not a bad race and a very nice main special weight back in November. Came back to run very well after that in December. Coming here next logical step, winners. Not the world's deepest stakes race. I think at 3-1, she's logical. I think the seven horse Shilling for Kenneth McPeak and Christopher Elliott can win also. I ran her in the Demoiselle over the 9 furlongs here about a month and a half ago, where she just didn't do a lot of running. She finished fourth by 12 1/4 lengths. She was with him early on, but then she yielded. I do think cutting back to a one turn is really going to suit her. She won the Tempted on this track, a very light Tempted stakes, but she won by just nearly a half a dozen. Not the best beginnings, but she drew off on the front end, and then she broke her main here in October quite easily by a neck. Back in trip. She's training well from the gate of Belmont, so hopefully getting out of the gate should be a little bit easier for her. I'm going to give her a shot at 8-5 on the ticket. But to recap my selection for the eighth from Aqueduct, it is the Ruthless Stakes. Going to take the two horse Interstate Love Song. Give kudos to seven horse Shilling, 2-7-5-3 Super, 2-7 in the multi race. To the feature 10th race now from Aqueduct, which is the Withers Stakes, going for a $200,000 purse race for three-year-olds here. Seven horses are going 1,800 meters, or mile eighth in this year's Withers. Another race very rich in Aqueduct history. I remember it being run about 2 weeks before the Derby, maybe a week before the Derby, and it used to be kind of the local prep race for the Preakness. In fact, Bernardini, who ran in this race in 2006, won it with Javier Castellano dropping the whip at the 3/16th pole or the eighth pole. Still won. Came back to run 3 weeks later to win the Preakness quite impressively. Fortunately, that was the race Barbaro got injured in. But the coming here to New York, Bernardini had a very good under the radar 2006 campaign that we don't talk about more. I think we should. But, it all started here with the Withers. Actually, no, it started Gulfstream, then went to the Withers. But my top selection this year's race, I'm going to go with the three horse Anaho, whatever the horse's name is. I can't speak English. I'm going to go 3-2-7-1 in the superfecta. 3-2-7-1 Super, top selection, three horse Aten, this three-year colt by Quality Road, Chap Brown trains. Jose Lascano gets to mount. Ran on Christmas Eve here at Aqueduct, mile and eighth in the main special weight for 85 grand, and he won by a head. From the inside, he dueled to the front end, saved some good fraction. He had a breather at the three-quarter pole, which really set him home well. He grinded out to the wire. He got the job done. A very good game performance. Like here around two turns, forwardly paced. We're coming from a little bit down, but from where he's drawn, I'd like to see him forwardly paced. I think he can go a long way here today and improve off that run. He was back in the main special weight over the mile at Aqueduct, 23rd November, and he finished third by 2 lengths that day. He didn't get out of the gate so clearly. He hit it going out of it, but he sat back early. He gained a lot of ground late. Not a bad race in the feet for for his freshman outing. Didn't think it was half bad. He's really improved with the second race. Come back here with two turns again. run well. I'm gonna give him a shot on the ticket. I think the two-horse Schoolyard Superman for, Chad and Manny Franco Cohen also, he's come around 2 turns for the first time. His most recent one-turn race in the main special weight Aqueduct over the mile on the 6th December, he won by 5 1/4 lengths. He stalked, he got to the lead, and he drove home clear. That was a very good race. On debut, he just, he clipped heels and fell going around the far turn. That was scary. They had the van him off, but guess what? A month and a half later, he came back to run an Aqueduct 6.5 in the main special weight, where he finished second by 3 1/4 lengths that day. He just, was a little lackadaisical in the lane, but he showed his heart out that day. And also stalked at a very fast pace. Also, 109 and 4 3/4. They were flying up front. But, sometimes when horses fall, they lose some confidence. It looks like he didn't lose any confidence because after that, he won quite impressively. Drawn around 2 turns here, drawn very well, training well. At 2-1, I think he's logical, and I think the 7 horse 4th and 1, not the ideal poster from the outside, but, his race in the, last time I'd go in the one-turn mile against State Bres wasn't bad at all. Even his defeat behind Bravaro and the Sleepy Hollow wasn't bad at all. He's another horse that goes up well with 2 turns. 6-1, not, yeah, 6-1, good price. I think he can win. Let's use him on that pick 6 ticket. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Aqueduct, it's been a long day. It's the Wither Stakes. Gonna take a 3 horse Idaho. Give kudos to the 2 horse Schoolyard Superman and the 7 horse 4th and 1. 3-2-7-1 Super, 3-2-7 in the multi race. With that being said, good luck to all, and please follow me on X at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.